All right, let's talk about something that can be a real headache for any homeowner: your heating and air conditioning. Your HVAC system. Especially if you live somewhere hot, you know that special kind of stress when it starts acting up. So today, we're diving into a much-needed survival guide for what to do when your system is on the brink.
Oh man, just reading that sentence probably makes you feel a little warmer, right? We've all been there, or at least we've all dreaded it. It's the hottest day of the year, the air inside is getting sticky and thick, and then you realize the cool air has just stopped. It's a specific kind of panic. But hey, don't sweat it. Understanding what's actually going on is the first step to getting that cool air back. So you might be wondering, why do systems in places like Central Florida seem to have such a hard time? Well, it all starts with the environment itself. Your AC isn't just fighting the heat. It's basically running a 9-month-long gauntlet against a whole bunch of local challenges.
9 months. Just let that sink in for a second. Up north, an AC unit gets a nice long winter vacation. But in Florida, nope. It's in a constant 9-month marathon. All that relentless heat and humidity means parts just wear out faster, and the system's efficiency can take a nosedive if you're not keeping an eye on it. And it's not just the heat, not by a long shot. Your system is fighting a war on multiple fronts. You've got extreme humidity, which forces your AC to work overtime just pulling moisture out of the air. You've got sandy soil, which can cause all sorts of drainage headaches for your outdoor unit. And that mineral-heavy water, yeah, that can slowly but surely eat away at all the important copper lines and coils inside. This one, just blows my mind. 30%. Think about that for a second. You're paying to cool your entire home, but almost a third of that wonderfully cold air never even makes it to you. It's just leaking out into your attic or crawl space. It's a massive invisible energy drain that forces your AC to run and run and run, trying to keep up. Okay, so your system is definitely struggling. But here's the good news. It doesn't usually die silently. It almost always sends out warning signs first, kind of like an SOS. And if you learn how to read these signals, you can catch a small problem before it turns into a total catastrophe. Let's decode a few of the most common ones. All right, first up is a really weird one. Ice on your indoor AC unit in the middle of a blazing hot summer. I mean, how does that even happen, right? Well, it's a classic symptom. It means the coils inside are getting way too cold, which is usually because air isn't moving over them properly. Think a super dirty filter, or you've got a refrigerant leak. Either way, it's a clear signal your system is basically choking. Ah, yes. The one that makes every homeowner's heart stop. A puddle of water inside the house. This is so common in humid places. Your AC is a dehumidifier, right? It pulls gallons of water from the air, and that water is supposed to go down a drain line. But all that moisture is the perfect home for algae, which can clog up the line and make all that water back up right into your house. This might be the most frustrating one of them all. You can hear the system running constantly. Your power bill is probably going through the roof, but the house just isn't getting any cooler. This isn't just a small issue, it's a sign of a major failure. You could have a serious refrigerant leak, a compressor that's about to give up, or, you guessed it, that leaky ductwork we were just talking about. And all of this brings us to the big one, the moment of truth. Your system is on the fritz. A technician gives you a pretty hefty repair estimate, and now you have a choice to make. Do you sink more cash into this old unit, or is it finally time to bite the bullet and invest in a new one? It's a tough call for sure, but there's a simple little tool that can really help. Meet your new best friend, the $5,000 rule. This is just a fantastic practical guideline that helps cut through all the stress and emotion of the decision. Now, it's not a law, of course, but it gives you a logical, numbers-based starting point, so you can figure out if you're about to throw good money after bad. And check out how simple this is. Let's just run a quick example. Say your AC unit is 12 years old, and let's say it needs a repair that's going to cost you $500. You just multiply the age, 12, by the repair cost, 500. What do you get? 6,000. Since that number is over the $5,000 threshold, the rule is telling you that replacement is probably the smarter financial move in the long run. And that $5,000 rule makes even more sense when you see this number. The simple fact is, in a place like Florida, HVAC systems just don't last as long. They have a life expectancy of around 12 to 15 years, while the national average is closer to 15 or 20.
all that constant work just wears them out faster. So if your unit is already pushing that age limit, justifying a big repair gets really, really tough. So let's say you've done the math, and it looks like replacement is the way to go. The moment you start shopping, you're going to get hit with a bunch of technical jargon. Don't let it scare you off. You really only need to understand two key things: refrigerant and efficiency ratings, to make a really smart decision. First up, and this one is a huge deal, refrigerant. If your system is more than, say, 12 years old, it probably uses an old refrigerant called R22. Well, the EPA completely phased that stuff out. It's not made anymore. So the remaining supply is incredibly rare and incredibly expensive. A simple coolant leak in an old R22 system can cost so much to fix that it basically forces you to replace the whole unit. Next is efficiency, and that's measured in something called SEER2. It sounds complicated, but just think of it like miles per gallon for your car. The higher the number, the less energy it uses. And as you can see here, while a high-efficiency unit costs more upfront, it pays you back month after month on your power bill. A 16 SEER2 unit can save you over 20% on cooling costs compared to the bare minimum. That is a massive savings over the life of the system. Okay, we're almost there. You've diagnosed the issue, you've made that tough repair or replace call. Now for what is arguably the most important step of all, finding the right person to do the work. Because you can buy the best, most expensive system in the world, but if it's not installed or repaired correctly, it's going to fail. So how do you spot a true pro? Well, here's a little cheat sheet. They have to be EPA certified. That's the law for handling refrigerant. They should always give you a written estimate before they touch anything, so there are no nasty surprises. Look for warranties, transparent pricing, and maybe most importantly, someone who can explain the problem to you in plain English without a bunch of confusing jargon. And that brings us to the end. We've talked about the brutal environment, the SOS signals your AC sends, how to make that tough financial call, and what to look for in a pro. So now, the final question is for you. Is your system ready for what's coming? Because taking a few of these steps now can absolutely save you from that moment of pure panic when the cool air stops and that summer heat starts pouring in.